What's poppin', everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Zach Lesage here. Today we're going to be going over Roaring Moon EX with the new Roaring Moon from Temporal Forces and the Dunsparce. An odd pairing, but it's already made top 8 at EUIC, Orlando, and I think there's a chance that it might make top 8 at Indianapolis Regionals as well. It's a very powerful deck. I took it to a couple cups this weekend. I made second at a very large Toronto Cup, and top 4 again, only losing to Rowan Stavenhow, one of the best players in the world. This deck has something special to it, and I'm going to be sharing over my own personal deck list, strategy, gameplay, and more. So if that sounds great, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments what you think about this deck, or if you have any questions about that deck. That being said, let's jump into the deck list and get this video poppin'. Here we have it, the Roaring Moon Dudunsparce list. Now, this is kind of like a hybrid between a Roaring Moon deck and an Ancient Box deck, and Dunsparce really gives us an opportunity to use its runaway draw to draw some cards maybe before we need to draw something to get into a combo piece like a Dark Patch or a Professor Sada's Vitality, or maybe want to keep them in play so that when our opponent plays an Iona or a Roxanne, we have an opportunity to draw in the cards we want. Those cards could be Prime Catcher, Counter Catcher, etc., so that we're able to knock out the Pokemon we want or build up another attacker. This deck's quick, this deck is aggressive, and it's relatively easy to play, although Dunsparce and Dudunsparce can lead to some complex situations that I'll try to get into when it comes to the strategy portion of this video. The list is available in the description, so you can copy and paste that right into PTCG Live, and if you need any cards available for this deck, we have our sponsors at Kayfabe and at PTCGL Store, whether you need singles, sealed, or you need some PTCG Live codes. Discounts are available in the description. Also, if you're going to be sleeving this deck up, consider sleeving it in some Katana or Cortex sleeves to keep your gameplay at its best. Shout out to Ultimate Guard. Let's jump into the strategy. One of our best early game attackers is going to be the baby Roaring Moon from Temporal Forces. We're going to be using Vengeance Fletchling that does 70 damage plus 10 more damage for each ancient card that we have in our discard pile. Now, it might be counterproductive to be using this in the early game. However, it does have 140 HP, and we can give it an additional 60 HP with one of our Ancient Booster Energy Capsules. Being able to two-shot a Pokemon or one-shot a single prize card Pokemon like Dunsparce or Comfey really gives you a lot of opportunities to build up something in the background once your opponent promotes a two-prize card Pokemon. So the main strategy is going to be you are a single prize card deck, you're getting your Dunsparces ready, and in the mid to late game, you are going to attack with your two prize card Pokemon, such as Roaring Moon EX or Iron Leaves EX, depending on the situation. Roaring Moon EX is going to be our big attacker against anything that is not weak to grass. It gives us opportunities to do 220 damage with its Calamity Storm attack, and you could discard an Artazon or maybe one of your opponent's stadiums in play, like a Pokestop. If your opponent doesn't have those in play, or if you don't have those in play, you might have to go for Frenzied Gouging and put yourself where you only have 30 HP left. That being said, you want to draw two prize cards when you're using Frenzied Gouging, if that happens most of the time. Iron Leaves EX is my cute addition to this deck, and it really gives us an opportunity to have an advantage against Roaring Moon EX Mirror, which is becoming increasingly more popular, and of course the most popular deck of them all, Charizard EX. Both of those Dark-type Pokemon are weak to grass, and our ability allows us to get energies in play with Professor Sada's Vitality, bust forward active with Rapid Vernier, and then get the knockout for 360 damage with Prism Edge. We're going to continuously build up energies in play so we have a large army of Pokemon to go over and over, mill through our deck with Explorer's Guidance to get ancient cards in our discard pile, and of course, put it to a point where the only cards that we have left are the cards we really want to play. There are some cool cards in this deck, like Thorton, that we can use after powering up our Pokemon with Professor Sada's Vitality to bring out some exciting gameplay out of nowhere. The rest of this deck is really just trying to either accelerate energies or trying to find the Pokemon in our deck. And really, this deck should be as simple as attacking with Roaring Moon, drawing cards with the Dunsparce, and finding those opportunities to draw two prize cards with Roaring Moon EX. Let's see how it works in some PTCG Live gameplay. Alright, so we're going to be calling this coin flip, and our opponent won the coin flip. I'd like to go first if that's a possibility. But it looks like they're going to be going first. That's fine. We'll see what we can get on our first turn of the game. Not really the end of the world. Roaring Moon EX is not necessarily the Pokemon I want to be starting off with, but that's okay. We'll just deal with it. Our hand's semi-okay. It looks like they got a mulligan as well, so if they don't really... an interesting build with Rhyme and Rare Candy and Fire Energies, and not sure what Rhyme does off the top of my head, but it's not really a popular supporter at this current time. So we're going to see how this goes. We're able to attach an energy. Maybe we can get ourselves into a Professor status for next turn. We have the Trekking Shoes. So there's a few things that we might want to do. Okay, we'll definitely draw some 3 mulligans. That certainly helps a little bit. Okay, so we're playing against a Kangaskhan EX. Maybe this is just some interesting control build or something, and they're using triple draw to draw cards. I'm honestly not sure what we're playing against here. Because Pidgeot EX is pretty fine. Okay, maybe it's just a Tech and Charizard to try to get a knockout with incessant punching. Interesting nonetheless. So we start with Roaring Moon there, and we might have an opportunity here to use Artazon. So what I want to use here, you could either use Trekking Shoes first or Artazon. Here I want to maybe find a way out of the active. So I'm going to use Artazon first, and I'm just going to grab a Dunsparce. Check through your entire deck. The thing that's really nice about Dunsparce is Dunsparce has free retreats. We will go ahead and roll up with the Dunsparce. Let's use Trekking Shoes here, see what we get. We don't want to put that into our hand. We want that in our discard pile if that's a possibility. And we do have access to putting the Roaring Moon down, since the only supporter we have is going to be Explorer's Guidance. The supporters that I typically like to grab are going to be Ultra Ball. I think we're probably okay losing some energies. I don't really care about the energy boost capsule, so I think I'm just going to grab these two. It could be tough, but we did get some more energies in our discard pile, or some more ancient cards in our discard pile, so we can do more damage with Roaring Moon. I'm going to go ahead and use Ultra Ball, discarding a Grass Energy and a Dark Energy. I think those are both fine options, just because we might have an opportunity to draw into something else. We're going to use Radiant Greninja there, so we're able to draw some more cards. So we really want to thin through our energies super quickly. Another Nest Ball certainly is not going to hurt, so let's Nest Ball. We're going to grab out another Dunsparce, because Dunsparce has free retreat. And even if we evolve into the Dunsparce, we could run away draw as long as we're able to use that ability. Let's use Trekking Shoes. Sure, we'll put... Oh, I totally meant to click show more. I wanted to put the Super Rod into my hand, not the discard pile, but it probably isn't going to matter. We can get back all those energies, so it's really not the end of the world. Let's attach a Dark Energy to the Roaring Moon here. And we will see how it goes next turn with Explorer's Guidance. Maybe we'll be able to draw in some more cards. So let's go ahead and end our turn. And maybe our opponent's going to attack into our Roaring Moon EX. Maybe they're going to do a whole bunch of things. We'll have to find out. It looks like it's just Charizard with a Kangaskhan EX. Maybe our opponents, they have an idea for it. Maybe they think Kangaskhan EX is funny. Maybe they are just a new player building a deck. I'm not sure. Everything else looks like super normal. Maybe this is just like the PTCG live demo version of the deck. I'm honestly not sure. But either way, shout out to the Charizard deck. This is... Most lists are going to look similar, except maybe the Kangaskhan EX. But it looks like they're chilling. Maybe look at 3 heads and just blow up our Roaring Moon EX. See what they're doing here. And we don't want to really go behind... we don't really want to lose this Roaring Moon EX. That's going to be one of our bigger things. Like, we don't want to be put into a tough position when it comes down to it. That being said, we really could use Frenzied Gouging to knock ourselves out. See what they get. Heads, tails, tails, heads, heads. Okay, so I'm okay with this. Honestly, not the end of the world. Could have been a lot worse. We are now probably forced to use Artazon because we don't have another energy to really get rid of anything. So let's go ahead and go... I'm not going to grab a Roaring Moon. I could have maybe saved that a little bit more. Let's use Explorer's Guidance. This could be tough. I think we have... We could go triple Dark Patch and get the knockouts on their Charizard with our other Roaring Moon. That might be the best option that we have. We do lose our second Super Rod, which is going to be really tough to deal with. I don't think there's a lot of other options, and we should be able to draw into something. So I'm just going to go ahead here and... yeah, there's not really a great option for us otherwise. So we're going to pitch those. We're going to put down this Roaring Moon EX. We're going to waste triple Dark Patch. So we could still be a very aggressive deck, as you can see. Like, it's not the best case scenario for our deck, and we're not getting into those Professor Sadas the way that I want to. And maybe the Trekking Shoes just aren't as good as Pokegear. I go back and forth on which one I like a little bit more. We're just going to go ahead here, knock out the Charizard. And we're really starting these 2 prize cards punches first. So we're going to go for Frenzied Gouging. We're just going to knock them out entirely. And we'll get a couple prize cards. Double Dudunsparce is certainly not the worst I've ever had here. So we will we'll have to see how we're going to take out this Kangaskhan. They're probably just going to have to go incessant punching. Best case scenario is that they flip 4 tails in a row. But as long as they continuously put down 3 prize card Pokemon, I think we're big chillin'. If they don't put down 2 prize card Pokemon, it could be pretty tough. So there's an Entei. That's something that we can knock out with another Roaring Moon. You might be like, how do we get back Roaring Moon? Well, we can always use Thorton if we have access to Thorton as well. I guess we discarded Thorton in 2 Super Rods, so both of our Moons are gone once they're gone. And we've gone through all of our Dark Patches, so we're in a little bit of a tough spot here. But we'll see how their incessant punching works. Heads, 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 tails. So that could have been really bad. I don't know if we have enough to get the knockout with a regular Roaring Moon, but we're going to start off with Dunsparce here before anything else, because it has free retreats. So we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're doing 140 with Roaring Moon. So let's go ahead and start off by using the Dunsparce. And I want to use Runaway Draw, because right now we have no other way to draw anything. We have no other Pokemon we want to put in our deck. So let's go Runaway Draw. That certainly can help out a little bit. We're going to put up Dunsparce. And before doing anything else, I want to go ahead and Artazon back, Artazon searching for another Dunsparce. So this gives us a higher chance of drawing to Dunsparce for next turn. I'm probably going to end up pitching this Roaring Moon because I don't want to draw into any other energies. Let's go Grass Dark. And we could even maybe pitch a Grass Energy with our ability here to draw in some other cards. There's another Professor Sada's Vitality. So we're going to go ahead here and go Professor Sada's Vitality. We're going to put a Grass Energy here because we can, and we're going to put a Dark Energy here because we can. So you can always put one Grass Energy. We'll see exactly how we go. We are probably going to have to knock ourselves out again, which could put ourselves down to a single prize card, which could be really tough. We still have to attach another Dark Energy. And I just want to make sure that we can't get the knockouts. I probably should double check that first, but 70... 100, 120, 140, 160. So we're not there yet. We're getting pretty close to getting the full knockout experience. Let's go ahead here and put Ancient Booster Energy Capsule onto the Roaring Moon. And we're going to go ahead and go... Maybe we don't want to use Nest Ball. I think what's best for us to do is just go retreat, send this up, and we're going to go for the Dunsparce is already evolved, and I'm going to go Frenzied Gouging, knocking ourselves out. They put themselves down to 2 prize cards. And we put ourselves down in 2 prize cards. We are going to have to find a way against the Entei V to get there. But we only have 11 cards left in our deck. We're pretty close to getting the knockout on the Entei anyways. Maybe we'll just win the game that way. So let's grab our couple prize cards here. Dunsparce, honestly not the end of the world. I think what I want to do here is send up Radiant Greninja, see how it plays out. Because they either attack us with Charizard, EX, and then we win the game with the Iron Leafs, or they attack us with Entei V, and we might be able to win the game with Roaring Moon. So the Iron Leafs here could be quite clutch across the board. We'll see how it plays out. So there's a Rare Candy Charizard, and as long as they don't disrupt us, we have win in hands. And if they do disrupt us, there's a very real chance that we draw into the right cards. Just because of Dudunsparce, the other Dudunsparce that we have in our deck, the other Iron Leafs that we have in our deck, the other energies that we have. So we have a lot of draw power per game, which makes it interesting even when you have a sloppy start like we did here. There's their Fire Energy, and if they just go Burning Darkness, okay. So I think we still win this game. Really cool play on our opponent for using the Burning Darkness, but I'll show you exactly how we're able to win this game. As long as we have another Roaring Moon, that's going to be the biggest issue for us if we do or don't. So let's go ahead. We're going to put up Dudunsparce because we could always put it away. Let's go ahead and use Artazon. We only have the one, so that's going to be kind of difficult for us to go. So we're going to have to knock out their Entei with Counter Catcher and Professor Sada's Vitality. So we're pretty close to getting there. We need to do 230. Right now we have 3, 5, 8, so 15. 3, 5, 8. So that's 15, 17. We need to get another 6 into our discard pile by the end of the turn. I think we'll be able to get there, or if not, get pretty close to there. Let's go ahead and go Ultra Ball, discarding Explorer's Guidances. It's going to be relatively close. We might miss this. So we're going to have to go like this. We're going to have to go ahead and go for a Dark Energy, goes onto the Roaring Moon. We're going to have to go for Professor Sada's Vitality, goes onto Roaring Moon. We're going to have to go for Concealed Cards, discarding a Grass Energy. We're going to have to go for Runaway Draw. And we're going to have to go for Roaring Moon. So the only 2 cards that we have are Dunsparce. We're going to have to go like this. Pitch that away, grab nothing. We'd always put this back. We're going to have to go Counter Catcher, bring this up, and we are doing 260. So a lot of damage. We win the game. We were able to do quite a bit. Maybe I missed some... I think I just clicked on trainers and wasn't counting Pokemon, and we might have had it a little bit earlier, but you can draw through your entire deck. This was without getting the Iron Leafs off, because our opponent, we had a lot of really weird prizing, but you can see how powerful this deck really can be, even when you are dealt a really awkward hand. So that's what we got going on for this deck profile today. I hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit more about this deck. Dudunsparce really allows you to draw through your deck, even if it's not as consistent as a draw engine as Pidgeot or Barrel. It's a little bit different, and different doesn't necessarily mean bad. And Roaring Moon can scale its damage quite a bit to knock out some basic 2 prize card Pokemon like Entei, Lumineon, Rotom, and of course Roaring Moon EX can knock out anything. Iron Leafs isn't always going to be the main focus of this deck, but being able to get them back with Professor Sada's Vitality and then pushing yourselves forward really can allow you to win the game. I think that game would have been a lot easier if had I not had some really awkward prizing and some really awkward Explorer's Guidances, but that's how it's going to be. I think this deck is absolutely fantastic heading into Indie, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about it. I'm also throwing a masterclass on this deck on April 29th, so be sure to check that out. We have a link available on our YouTube community section and, of course, on my social medias on Twitter. That being said, I'll catch up with all y'all later. Peace out and have a great one. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. Made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.